Welcome back to Redline Parts Talk. My name is Zach Stevens with ZachTV. Hope you guys are excited to talk about some more lubricant in our second series of lubrication. We did the one with the hydraulic oil, and now we're going to do the engine oil segment. How exciting. After this, we're going to go see our lubrication specialist, Brian Foltz, and talk a little bit about the bulk oil program at Redline Equipment. So let's get started. Where do we get started? There's such a big, broad area of questions when it comes to engine oils. So let's get back to talking about the oils before we get into that over here, and it'll make more sense to you, hopefully. So I have these grouped into two sections here, and you're probably wondering why, and it's not just because, oh boy, these are the expensive oils and these are the cheap oils, right? But yes, that's why. So these two oils are made for off-road use, the John Deere and the C&H. Their oils both have their own specs. You can see the specs on the front. Now, this goes beyond the API donut on the back. And I'll show you that here in a second as well. These oils are designed for an extended service, high heat, industrial use. These two oils have a service level of 500-hour oil changes. And, you know, for some guys, that could get you by 2 years if you really wanted to. I know most customers are like, heck no, it change every year. But if you literally wanted to wait, you can get by in 2 years and save a little coin, right? These oils are what I call an on-road oil. They are not designed, they don't have any extra specifications to go in the equipment it's going to be poured into. So there's actually some memos out there through these two companies that recommend if you do use oils like this, you probably really need to change oil every 200 hours versus a 500-hour oil change. So right off the bat right there lets you know, I'm not saying it's an inferior product, but it's a product that you're saving money on the first time, but not the second time you get it. So in the end, you're going to spend as much money, if not more, than you would with the products here. So let's go back to the donut I was just telling you about. So on all these, it says API service level, yada, 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 right? Everybody's seen it forever, because I think it was the early 1900s when that stuff came to be. So this says API service CK4. Well, the CK4 is the latest and greatest standard for the American Petroleum Institute, it says right there. And what that means is this meets all the requirements, which is a minimal requirement to have this sticker. So I do know that our manufacturer far exceeds that level to have this donut. Even though the donut is on there, it far exceeds that level. So that's where this other little number here, this MAT 3572 occurs, because that is the manufacturer spec, letting you know that that is certified for the manufacturer specification. John Deere has the same thing. But what kind of threw me off on the John Deere product is they didn't have a donut on the back. I do know the donut costs the manufacturers of the oil quite a bit of money to get that stamp of approval on there from the API. So right here it does say at the bottom API CK4. So maybe that's equivalent to the donut. I'm not sure, but it does clearly state this is a 500-hour oil change. So there's the John Deere product. Now getting back to the on-road oil, we got this mobile Dell Vac. Like I said, there's a place in the marketplace for all these. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with this oil here. Obviously, it says CK4 with the API sticker right there. However, this oil is not designed for off-road use. They have a picture of an excavator at the very, very back, which is fine. You put it in there. But that goes back to the service intervals I was telling you about, the 500-hour. Why do we have 500-hour here and no mention here at all in this product? Because this is designed for on-road use. And you may ask that, we'll get that in just a second. We're going to talk about the provenance, the Rural King oil. I couldn't find a mineral-based oil for this, so it does say semi-synthetic, but we're not going to worry too much about it. And it does say CK4 SN on the back of their label, because this is a synthetic blend. What gets me about this oil is is they really want you to trust it. They put all this stuff in here about how it meets and the specifications of this, and this, and it meets the tier 4A. They really just try to talk up, trying to make it so you're not afraid to use it. You know, I'm not going to be afraid to use it. I mean, if I had some kind of truck or something there at the farm that I'm not going to use every day or whatnot, this would be perfectly fine for that. It meets the specification. Like I said, this is a minimal specification. So here's the Providence, Rural King. And these oils are designed to compensate for that heat, the shearing, and everything else that's going on in the oil or in the engine to the oil. So if we're going to do a comparison test, which that's usually the ZachTV style, these two products are going to win for today. But like I said, there's nothing wrong with those two oils there. Good products. I just wouldn't recommend them in a tractor or combine or construction use. Now, back to the ZachTV fire test, right? Everybody's favorite. Well, mine, 230. So what I did in these first samples, and I wanted to make them big so you could see it easier, is I heated these from 250 degrees all the way to 350 degrees several times up and down for 30 minutes straight. And this is the result of the CNH product, and this is the result of the John Deere product. Nothing much changed. I wanted to talk a little bit about the viscosity improvers within the oil. So, because that's really what I was trying to get at the change, was the viscosity improvers. And what that is if you notice on every one of these, it says 1540. So essentially what these oils are is a 15 weight oil at room temperature or 0 degrees or 32 degrees, just cold weather. They say at the cold temperature, it's a 15 weight. And 40 is when it's heated. And those little molecules, your viscosity improvers, is additive. As the engine oil heats up, those improvers will create the liquid to be a 40 weight oil. And under high heat, those viscosity improvers break down and can cause some real issues and almost make it revert back to a mono grade oil and be really bad on some things that have got cold out and you went to go start your engine. You'd have some slow reactions to the lubrication, to the, your valve train cams, whatever. So as you can see, up to 350 degrees, these two oils, it didn't affect it at all. It's still the same as what it was when I poured it out. And I have some control tubes right here of the color that came out of the container. And we'll do some zoom ups here so you guys can see it, but these are the control tubes. Nothing happened to it on that particular test. Same thing happened to the automotive style oil. However, when I went to heat these oils up, these things started to boil around 350 degrees, whereas the off-road oil, it was almost 400 degrees before we started seeing some bubbles. So this stuff here, 250 to 350 range, which I was doing anyway, was actually pretty good. It held in there, and it's still fine. I mean, it might be a little bit off what it originally was. Here's the control tubes for it. It's still retaining its color for that test. So I was pretty impressed with what they were doing for those short tests. But mind you, these tests were only for half hour at a time. So it's not going to be something that's done in real world hours on end. So the next test I did was severe heat. Kind of something that's not going to happen in real world, but it could. So, and this is where I found there are some differences in the oil where somebody would probably question me, well, Zach, how do you know that there's more additives in this, and how can you prove it? So this isn't a proving thing, but it is to me, and it might be to you as well when I show you the tubes here when I did the extreme test. So the extreme test was heated it up. We were at 350, and then when it got to boiling, I let it boil for 30 seconds and then shut it off. Shut the heat off completely. So here's the CNH and the John Deere product. When I did that, they instantly both turned like a real dark color. It's not black, but it's a dark color. But they both have decent viscosity to them. it did damage them a little bit, but not much. When we went to the Rural King and the Mobile, this is where it got kind of weird. At the same temperatures, of course, like I said, it boiled much quicker, but these two oils retained their color. They retained their color, but it did damage their viscosity improvers more so than the CNH and the Deere, as you can see maybe. But like I said, we'll do a zoom up here in a little bit so you guys can see this. But the color here is, I put C's on here for the control tubes. Here's the control colors of the Rural King and the Mobile. As you can see, they changed color, but not much. Whereas the John Deere, here's their controls and the CNH controls, they change incredibly amount of color. You can see there, the colors are crazy. So the testing that I did, what I can figure out is with the 500-hour oil change intervals with this product, the additive package must be doubled or tripled or whatnot of different anti-wears and the viscosity improvers to make it change color that much, that quick, where these are lacking. So that's my test results. I think these are the obvious winners in our line of business and your line of business. So if you have any questions in this regarding, shoot me a message. I'd like to talk about it. But other than that, that's all I have for this segment. We're going to go see the lubrication specialist, Brian Foltz, and go from there. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time.